Another top story we're tracking this morning. President Obama will deliver his final State of the Union address tonight. Let's bring in former U.S. Ambassador to China, former presidential candidate and Utah Governor Jon Huntsman. He's also co-chair of the political group, the activism group, No Labels. Governor, good morning to you.
Hey, Diggin, great to be with you.
I'll put money down that President Obama talks about infrastructure because I think he's mentioned it in every speech that he's given since he took the oath of office 7 years ago.
Well, that may be the case, but listen, this is the President Obama's last year, and in the final year, you worry about your legacy. I'm not sure much else is going to get done. It's totally overtaken by the sour relationship with Congress and a wide-open presidential campaign. That's where people's focus is, and that's where the talk's going to be. So it'll be very interesting to see how he lays out his legacy. It's a controversial one for the most part. It's marked by rule by executive order, which really changes the dynamic of how the presidency works vis-a-vis Congress. So I'm going to be listening with open ears for this speech. What
else do you think he could move on with executive orders? Because again, you've seen what he's doing with gun regulations. He tried to do it with immigration, and those are just two of the big ones, but there are more.
Well, I hope that whatever happens does not further impede the well-being and competitiveness of our marketplace, because we're the greatest market in the world, and slight tweaks on the regulatory side, led by executive mismanagement or intervention, could further hamper what is a market just starting to recover and find its cruising altitude. And that would be my only concern, whether on the energy side, whether on the health sciences side. You heard from one of your guests just in the last hour about the pharmaceutical industry, health sciences. I think we're on the cusp of a major economic growth revolution in some of these sectors. They don't have the confidence yet to take off, and any further regulation or unilateral action by the executive branch, I think, could be catastrophic to growth.
Governor Huntsman, you're the former U.S. ambassador to China. There's a lot going on in China right now. A lot of uncertainty about how fast that economy is growing, how much of a grip the government has over economic developments. What's your assessment of how unstable China looks at the moment and how President Obama needs to be dealing with them?
Well, China right now is going through a transition on the economic side, going from the old investment-led export machine from which they've drawn from cheap labor, a discounted currency, and exported to the major markets of the world, amassing a whole lot of foreign exchange reserves, to a consumption model. That's where they want to be, and that's where Xi Jinping wants to take this thing by the end of his presidency in 2022. Now, that journey has become a very difficult one, and the road is rickety and full of potholes and uncertain because their policy making and the regulatory environment has been uncertain at best. And I think it's having a real spillover effect on Xi Jinping's credibility within the market. You've got problems regionally. You've got commodities that are upside down. You've got debt problems, particularly in the provincial areas. And right now, there's just not a lot of confidence in the marketplace. And then you look at the stock markets in Shanghai and Shenzhen, and you look at the price-earnings ratios, particularly in Shenzhen, and they're just off the charts upside down. And it's therefore no surprise that late last summer we saw 30% whacked right out of the market, and this last week 10%. So it's a very difficult, uncertain time. Long term, I think I have some confidence into where they want to be, but there's going to be real turbulence in that journey.
Governor, Hillary Clinton made comments yesterday about raising taxes on the wealthy. Do you think President Obama runs with that rhetoric tonight?
You know, I think class warfare, unfortunately, has been a part of the rhetoric, part of the mantra coming out of the Democratic Party. I think it's dangerous. You know, why we can't talk about opportunity and lifting all people, starting with education reform, starting with economic and tax reform, providing real opportunity. That's a mystery to me, but I think that's the message, and I think we're going to hear it from President Obama continuing into his last year, and I think we're going to hear it from whomever the Democratic nominee is, and I don't think it's a winning message.
Governor, it was great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Governor Jon Huntsman, take care.
Great pleasure to be with you. Thank you.